How are you?
Right, functioning and
Back to work.
back to work. Ooh, those are pretty good.
Good. How you doing?
But tie it. Yeah, they're pretty good. I drink so much water during the day. It's like you get to this point, you're like, I don't want any more water. I probably had 3 big jugs of the stuff today. Well, that's what my nutritionist says.
Catherine says she has to abstain from
I got that. You're welcome. Is that your only conflict? Okay. Bless you. That thing pretty accurate? It is pretty accurate, isn't it?
Caroline and Tom. The time I was sitting, must have gotten off.
I'm up there. So I got a cousin.
I always just look at this. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the August 27th City of North Platte Planning Commission meeting. Roll call.
Davies. McCune.
Here.
Matthews. Here. Bain.
Here.
Fudge.
Here.
Jett. Forbes.
Here.
Oral.
Here.
And Van Velsen.
Yep.
Ms. President.
Second item, a current copy of the Open Meetings Act of Nebraska is posted at the back of council chambers right against that wall. If you'd like to refer to that at any time, you're more than welcome to. Item number 2, approval of minutes from the meeting held July 23rd, 2024. I trust you've all read them intently, including the rather large and lengthy description of item number 3 from last month.
I would move the approval of the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Van Velsen, seconded by Bain to approve the minutes. Any discussion on that matter? Not, Michelle, please. And the minutes are approved. Item number 3, file number SU 24-015, discuss and consider action on an application by Richard and Tracy Hausman for preliminary and final approval of Hausman replat and approval of a variance to the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Section 155.093D. The depth of a lot shall be no more than 3 times the width of the lot at the building line on property located at 2605 West 16th Street and 1620 Buffalo Bill Avenue in an R3 dwelling district on property described as Block 37 Lincoln Highway, 4th Edition, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, you should all have received a copy of the preliminary and final plat. The subdivision will reconfigure 4 lots into 5 lots. Public utilities are available to service the lots. Planning staff has no objection to the proposed subdivision if the variance to lot depth is approved.
And Kathleen is going to abstain from this action. So, any discussion on this? Questions, comments?
How wide is this a mobile home area? R3 is not, there's not mobile homes, these are gonna be built homes or modular homes on there?
Correct.
In a 49.5 foot space?
Yep. You can do it. You can do it in 40-foot wide. It's a little tight, but yes, it is possible.
I know this area. You've been cleaning this up. Looks much better.
Gonna labor of love.
Yeah, this was kind of a lot of timber on this lot. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Nice work.
I know it's a variance, but it still makes sense to not have any landlocked area.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yep.
common.
Yeah, because if they would have split them, you know, like north-south instead of east-west, you would have had to probably install at least an access back there.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
You'd have to develop a drive or a road or an easement, access easement or something, which
Yeah.
Any other discussion on this matter? Not, there's a proposed motion there. Somebody is so inclined.
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number SU 24-015 preliminary and final approval of Houseman's replat and a variance to City of North Platte Code of Ordinance, section 155.093D, to allow the depth of the lot to exceed the 3 times the width.
Second.
Motion by Bain, seconded by McEwen to recommend approval of the file. Any more discussion on the matter? Oh, Michelle? And with Kathleen abstaining, the matter is approved. This will go to council.
We'll go to city council on September 3rd.
Good luck. Item number 4, file number SU 24-016, discuss and consider action on an application by Diamond D Properties LLC and Eichhoff Construction LLC for preliminary and final approval of Dancer Fourth replat and approval of a variance to the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, section 155.093 D. The depth of a lot shall be no more than 3 times the width of the lot at the building line on property located at 815 Mockingbird Drive in an R2 dwelling district on property described as lots 7 and 8, Block 2, Dancer 3rd Subdivision, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
And this, again, you should have received a copy of the preliminary and final plat. This subdivision will consolidate 3 lots into 1 lot. Public utilities are available to service the lot. Again, planning staff has no objection to the proposed subdivision if the variance to the lot is approved. The intent, because I know this, the intent of the applicant is to develop additional parking to the north. So that house that's existing there would be removed, and then parking would be developed to the north.
This is the
Am I on the
on the
wrong
inside.
I think you're on the wrong
Hummingbird,
one.
Mockingbird?
Right here.
I don't think you're gonna take down a brand new house.
Yeah, I think this is a brand new house
I
that
lied,
I'm sure.
I'm on the wrong one. I
Oh,
skipped
good,
ahead. I
good,
was trying to
good.
get us out of here a lot quicker.
We just buried the lead for tomorrow morning. New house destroyed for parking.
Jumped the gun. Sorry about that. Okay, back up. Same thing, you should have received a copy of the review comments and a copy of the preliminary and final plat. This one is going to consolidate 2 lots into 1 lot. Again, public utilities are available and planning staff has no objection if the depth of lot is approved.
Okay, now are there any questions besides what would have been the obvious ones before?
Why?
To allow, the applicants are here, so I guess they could speak. It allows more lot size and would allow them to build a garage. I'm not sure if that is their intent.
Come on up. Name and address, please.
Clary Nykoff, 8909 South Buffalo Road, North Platte, Nebraska.
owner of Ikoff Construction and Diamond E Properties LLC.
Go ahead, Glenn.
We had a higher level professional come to town looking at that house. Wanted additional parking, possibly a garage. It got us thinking, in addition to what do we do on this lot because it's really small, as well as, I don't know if you guys have been by there, the fire hydrant was inset into that lot quite a ways, to line up with the fire hydrants all the way down, and limits us a lot on the setbacks. And we did decide to change those houses to face west, and that was mainly just to try to give it a little bit more appeal, curb appeal to the house. Zach's lived over there for about 6 years now, and the streets are pretty tight anyway. So getting additional cars off those streets right there will also be a benefit. We are looking at probably around a $450,000 home with the two lots combined and then adding a garage. So it does increase. We don't feel it will jeopardize the TIF bond at all because of that. And all of our houses are higher than first projected with that TIF bond, so we don't have any concerns with that either.
Are you finding that the 62-foot width is too small?
Yeah. So if you drive by again, there is no backyard on the house that currently sits.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be a backyard if we build a house on the one next to it. Combining the two allows side yard, if you will, between the garage and the house. And then also yard all the way around the garage. Because of the requirements of the city, there will be 6-foot privacy fence on the back side of the house and then 4 foot around. So it'll really tie the entire yard in with the garage. It'll be great for, a dog. They say about 50% of households have dogs. So that will be a benefit as well to a homeowner.
Any other questions for Mrs. Ikoff? Thank you, ma'am. Any more discussion? Questions, comments? If not,
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number SU 24-016 preliminary and final approval of Dancer Fourth replat and a variance to City of North Platte Code of Ordinance Section 155.093D to allow the depth of the lot to exceed 3 times the width.
motion by Matthews, seconded by Bain to make a recommendation to approve this file. Any other discussion? Not? Michelle, please. It's okay.
Oh.
And the motion passes. Again, to council on,
The third,
Third.
September 3rd.
please don't tear the new house down. Item number 5, file number SU 24-017, discuss and consider action on application by Maple Park Dental Associates, PC and LNS Enterprises LLC for preliminary and final approval of Residence Park replat and approval of a variance to the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Section 155.093D. The depth of a lot shall be no more than 3 times the width of a lot at the building line on property located at 805 South Maple Street in an H1 hospital district on property described as lots 15 and 16, block 19, Residence Park subdivision, and lot 1, Lashley Administrative Subdivision, North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, now, I'm on the right one. This subdivision will consolidate 3 lots into 1 lot. Public utilities are available to service the lot. Planning staff has no objection to the proposed subdivision if the depth to lot ratio is approved. And again, they are going to move the house and put in a parking lot.
Put in a parking lot. Song by that refrain.
It's getting all sorts of goofy here tonight.
I drove by there today, as I drove by Ikoff's too, and I totally understand understand why you wanted to do what you did, but they need a parking lot in there. I mean, they've needed that for a long time. There's just too many cars on the street, and
When
it
that
just
was,
looks a mess over there.
when that was originally approved, they had requested a variance to parking for that to be installed. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a good idea.
Any more discussion, comments?
The depth is considered north and south,
Yes.
even though the street,
Yes.
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number SU 24-017 preliminary and final approval of Residence Park replat and a variance to the City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Section 155.093D, to allow the depth of lot to exceed 3 times the width.
Motion by Worrell, seconded by Forbes to approve. Any more discussion? Shall I will be abstaining on this one. If not, please vote. And the motion is approved. Again, to the September 3rd meeting next Tuesday. Right? Item number 6, file number SU 24-018, discuss and consider action on application by Wilkinson Development, Inc. for preliminary and final approval of Fat Dog subdivision located at 3400 Halligan Drive in a B2 highway commercial district and described as a tract of land in government lots 5 and 6, section 11, township 13 north, range 30, west of the 6th prime meridian, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, and you should have all received a copy of the preliminary and final plat for Fat Dog subdivision. Subdivision will reconfigure 2 parcels into 3 lots. Public utilities are not available to service the lots, but infrastructure will be installed according to the Wilkinson Exit 179 Commercial Redevelopment Plan. Planning staff has no objection to the proposed subdivision. Halligan Drive up to little over 3/4 of the property will eventually be dedicated to the city for public right-of-way. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help.
Questions, comments, concerns?
The access utility easement on the preliminary is gone or been removed on the final. Is that anything of substance? I think I'm looking at it.
I'm not seeing it on the preliminary.
Maybe I'm looking at
The
this.
second one is the
Yeah.
final.
Oh, okay. I got them backwards.
Installed and access.
Gotcha. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Mistakes get made.
so this is just adding a lot to that development.
Yeah, basically, so it was one entire parcel, and so they've got where the current building is on one lot, and then possible future development on the other 2.
So the one small lot, lot 2, 1.86 acres, 3300 Halligan Drive.
Uh-huh.
That's the new,
That's for a possible future.
Okay.
The building is currently on the 3400 Halligan Drive.
okay.
Any more discussion?
I move to make a recommendation to approve file number SU 24-018 preliminary and final approval of Fat Dog subdivision.
Second.
Motion by McEwen, seconded by Bain to recommend approval of the subdivision. Any more discussion? Not, Michelle, please. And that recommendation is now made. All Alrighty, this item number 7, discussion of amendments to City of North Platte Code of Ordinances, Section 156.042, conditional uses in an A1 transitional agricultural district, Section 156.290, supplementary regulations. Judy.
Okay, so the first one, looking at some conditional uses in an A1 transitional agricultural district. So I've gotten several inquiries for commercial boarding stables. And so I got to looking at the agricultural, transitional agricultural districts that are mostly within the 2 mile, and in this case would have to be in the 2 mile because we don't allow hoofed animals in city limits. We do have a stable that's in the 2 mile that I believe is just a personal type stable. And so when someone had asked me about this, I had thought, well, maybe we could do it as an accessory use. But at that time, they didn't have a residential structure out there. So I just thought, I don't see the harm in it, but that's why I brought it to you guys to see if that was something that you wanted to do. Also, the event center venue. I've had an inquiry about putting a venue in an A1 district within the 2 mile. And I got to looking again at all the different things under conditional uses in an A1 transitional district, which allow rodeo arenas and carnivals. And I tried to get the city attorney to say, hey, it fits in there, but he didn't think so. So I thought, out in the county, so basically if you're 2.1 miles outside the city limits, you can do an event venue as a conditional use in the county. But if you're at that 1.99 mile away from the city of North Platte, you can't. So I thought that was kind of, why would you allow an event venue further out and not closer to the city, which would eventually probably come within the city limits at some point. And to rezone a whole entire ag parcel just for one specific use, I would think it would be a little bit better as a conditional use. So this is just for your thoughts. If you don't want to move forward with any of them, we don't have to, but those are the 2 specific ones that I was thinking about possibly just writing a little blurb as a conditional use and putting it on the next agenda for a public hearing and kind of getting that out of the way. The solar farm's a little bit more intensive because right now we don't have any regulations that allow solar farms, and it's becoming more and more the wind farms. The solar farms are becoming more of a thing. So we had talked about it, I think, a couple of years ago, and then it just kind of died on the table. But right now, if we were approached with a solar farm or a wind farm for that matter, our zoning code does not allow it at all. It's not in there, so we can't do it. So I thought we should probably be a little bit proactive and come up with something. But that one I just kind of threw together, plagiarized from another community and threw together some of my own thoughts in there. If you don't like those commercial solar regulations at all, we can completely change it. That's one I'm going to probably lean on Bill a lot more to help me write an ordinance with, just because it's a lot more in depth with the event venue. It's pretty easy to just put, event venue in as a conditional use, but this one's going to be a little bit more complicated. So thoughts on any of the 3 of them? And with the solar one, my recommendation would be to put them as conditional use in an ag, and then possibly just put them as an allowed use in maybe an industrial, light industrial, and heavy industrial. But again, your thoughts. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I guess with our hail that we get at times, I wonder how realistic a solar farm is. I've seen the one in Scottsbluff, and it got destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
Was it in the city limits?
I don't know. It's near the kids' soccer fields. That's how I happened to be up there, but it got like it in Cozad, what happened in Cozad and Gothenburg this summer would have done the same thing. I guess somebody wants to take a chance on it.
one of the things that the county, when they put some solar regulations in a few years ago, one of the things that they were really adamant about was having a decommissioning portion in there, so that if they got crashed by hail or, somebody wanted to vacate the property, that we had a way of getting it out of there. So I did make sure I added a decommissioning section to this,
And you're talking within the 2 mile.
within the 2 mile, yeah. Or they could be in city limits, if there's a large industrial property. I don't know if we have any spaces that are large enough right now to do that, but it's possible.
I definitely think it's a good idea. All of these plus the solar, we need to get something in writing for future reference.
Counselor, thoughts?
I would agree that having something is a lot better than having nothing, so that it at least leaves the possibility open, but also provides the guidance that we would need if anything like this were to come forward.
I like conditional use because it gives this body a little bit of say-so over, well, a lot of say-so over where it goes and how they go and what they look like and how much space they take up. And
Plus any additional conditions that anyone would want to try to place on them based on where it may potentially want to locate.
Definitely because of locations.
so what would you think a reasonable next step would be on all of these? Just draft some language and put together a public hearing for the September meeting?
The event center and the riding stables, I think, can be easily done, put together just a few words and get those back here to public hearing immediately. The other one, if you guys like what I wrote, I don't see any reason why we couldn't move forward with that, or maybe, I don't know, what are your thoughts, Bill? Should we move forward with that one, or do you think you think you're okay with that one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
If anybody,
To
that
create,
would be the reason for the public hearing, obviously,
Yeah.
so we could get some more input.
Right.
Is the decommissioning, would that be in that last
It
one?
is
It's in there
here.
under
It's
F.
F, one
Oh,
F.
okay.
to just create a section for that.
Is everybody okay with that line of thinking? We come back with a public hearing in September and talk this through and take some public input on it.
With the solar farms, are you guys thinking permitted use in an I1 or I2 and then conditional in an ag? What are your thoughts there?
I would think in an I1 or an I2, it would be fine if there was adequate space. Would be the only thing
I would second
that I
that.
would be thinking about, would be adequate offset space for it.
We don't have one started yet, correct? I got an email on one the other day questioning what information we have on the solar farm being.
I have no applications
We
in
don't have
hand.
no solar farm yet, so somebody's got some information about me.
I have no applications in hand.
But I'd rather have something in writing and to your point, have something that we can go off of at some point if there is an application. But in my opinion, the sooner we move on this, the better off we are.
Anybody else have an opinion on the I1, I2 allowment?
Yeah, it's a setback and space allowable issue. I would think in an industrial area, they don't have a lot of beautiful park area. They have parking lots and buildings in most industrial settings. And so I think it'd be hard to get much of a solar farm situation going unless they're innovative and they put it above their parking lot or they put it on their building or something like that, or on a tower and an array of solar panels. Depends what they're trying to do. I think the other thing that you need to consider is whether the city is going to let them hook in, or if they're going to have to hook into an MPPD for the power. What do they do with the power if they make it? And the city may not want them hooking into their grid. That would be part of the decision-making in whether a solar array, solar farm, or an array of some sort would be useful in an industrial. Are they gonna have to use all the power on site? You know, that kind of stuff.
Part of my thought process with the I-1 and I-2 was somebody might come and want to build one for their building and have enough space to actually put one there for their private use.
And if they have enough room, that's up to them.
Right, but it's not anywhere saying we can let them do that,
Yeah,
so.
or we can make them set back and stay
Exactly.
within reason, because they could go right to the lot line if we don't have any regs.
Right. And right now we don't, so.
So I'm hearing I-1, I-2 okay.
Yeah, conditional or permitted, I don't know on that one, which one, but I think we ought to at least consider the possibility that that would be wanted and have some public hearings in advance of that, so we can have some regs drawn up. I-2 and I-1 and I-2 are different from residential or ag.
Or even A1 transitional.
Yeah, even the transition.
Or B1, B2, as far as that goes, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Is that sufficient enough marching orders?
I think so.
Okay.
All right,
Expect to see this on the September agenda unless something weird happens.
sounds good.
All right. Any old business for the good of the order?
I have nothing.
How about any new business?
I don't have anything.
And with that, the meeting is adjourned. 2 minutes before your volleyball match starts.
It's all right.
What are you gonna do? 60